Peace and Power family, you're now multi-dimensionally tuned in. In this video, I want to talk about Babylon, the great system, and its continuous fall, time after time, ages after ages. It keeps on happening, the same story. You see, Babylon is a system that always likes to mount its tentacles on somewhere in this planet at a certain time, you know. And the system of Babylon is designed to play the left-hand path. They are designed to play, you know, the path of destruction. And let me just give a little run back on what Babylon is. Babylon means Babylon, to keep talking, blah, 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 blah. For real. The story of Babylon came about when you talk about the men who are building the Tower of Babel all the way to heaven. Okay, let's understand what that means, that story. What it means historically and what it also means, you know, mythologically, or, you know, yeah. Now, they are building their consciousness, they are building a house, a big, tall monolith or whatever, going all the way to heaven, right? And then, somewhere along the line, he said it's cut down. And then these people now start to speak languages. Before this time, humanity was not speaking, and humans started to speak. Okay, fine. Now, this will take us back to this, you know, according to history, this traces us to the past, to the Assyrians, which is a civilization close to the time of, which is Mesopotamia, all right? And if you go ahead a bit forward, this brings you to Egypt, you know. And if you go ahead forward again, this brings you to present day America. Present day America is present day Egypt, you know. And of course, you know, it's probably nothing new. Oh, you see, Egypt is getting it hard right now, okay? And the main reason why is because, number one, it is Babylon. It is the civilization of pure logic. It's the civilization of everything that you can see is yang. It doesn't have a yin to its structure of its build, so it's very masculine. And hence why it was a very patriarchal system. If you notice that even some statues of Egyptian women had beards on them. I don't know why. There's very less spoken about Egyptian women, but if you notice, you know, it was not a matriarchal system. And you see, the system of matriarchy, you know, is designed in a way whereby man and woman play their part in society towards creating a pillar to God. But a system of matriarchy is created more by where I feel like the woman is just shut up, and then the man is just doing what he thinks is going to get him to God. But, you know, in the end, that whole thing became vanity for real. America is currently going through its Pluto return, you know. I mean, America gained its independence 1784, 1786 thereabouts. It takes Pluto 248 years to make a revolutionary cycle around. And as of 2022, America just had its Pluto return. What does Pluto represent? Destruction. What is America? Babylon. What does Pluto represent? Transformation. What goes around comes around. Imagine what it's like when you have your Saturn return, right? For my folks here who are already like 30. Anytime you're having your Saturn return, what happens to you is that the things that you have done in your life, 30 years before then, you're going to receive karma. You're either going to be limited because you limited things, people, places, activities, your purpose, your soul, you limited, and you're either going to, you're going to be limited other ways, but to the extent at which the extent to what you, put out before your Saturn return. First, we have Jupiter return, then we have Saturn return. But you see this Pluto return. Saturn return deals with restructuring. Pluto return deals with destruction. So America is on the face of a Pluto return. And this is why present-day America is doing everything and anything to get out of the predicament they are in. But America is on a downturn like this. You see me? This takes me back to the biblical story about the people of Israel and the people of Egypt, where there was this saying, Pharaoh, let my people go. You get it? The Bible is a history book. What goes around comes around. It's a history book. It's also a, science book because history, for something that keeps on happening, come on. For example, look at the story of Enoch. Then look at the story of Christ. Okay, who was Enoch and who was Christ? What if it was the same person? Who knows? Exactly. So this is how you should think. But yeah, this is just my opinion. But now going back to that story of the Bible, particularly the ones about the one where Pharaoh had to let the Israelites go. You see, it's the same thing happening now. A lot of Israelite people during the slave trade. What the whole slave trade was about, the whole Christopher Columbus rubbish, was all these motherfuckers didn't cut themselves to time, and then they already know all it is to know. Children of the devil. And then they cut themselves down to Saturn. They know everything there is to know, but they can't go anywhere with all the things they know. So it stays here and it stops here. So anyways, going further anyways, my point is they had to come and take a lot of, Israelites, from Africa, particularly the western banks of Africa, the delta parts of Africa. Just look at West Africa particularly. They stole these people and they used them as zero-point energy sources to create, what you see as America today. As they say, America was built on the backs of black people. Okay, this is the real history. If you take away all the Israelites from America right now, say a rapture happened and it's our time to freaking dip, the righteous ones amongst us, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that there will be no energy source in America. America will be so dead. It will be like freaking the times of is it World War I? It'd be so terrible. But that being said, why did I even make this video in the first place? You see, I'm just opening you all to the thoughts going through my mind. Israel. The story of present-day Israel is going on in America again. Israel and Egypt. People are trying to leave. Airports are blocked. People that are trying to leave, there's no jobs. You have to get a vaccine before you leave, aka you have to get a RNA modifying substance inside of your temple before you can get out. What does that mean? That they want to tether you. Okay, you can leave, but take this thing in your body so that you can still be here even when you're not here. Yeah, because what that thing does is cut you out. Of course, because, I feel like a lot of us have been shown to quantum sciences, and this is what we're meant to go to as the original 9 to the 9 power of 9 beings. Quantum science is our science because it teaches us how to join the links of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious and become whole and one with God. There's a saying that goes, ye are gods. So you need to understand the type of practices that need to be put into place before we can be able to access these abilities. Not everybody can do it. So what do you think someone that knows everything and can't go anywhere will do in a world whereby there are people amongst them in that world that can go somewhere but just are not privileged to know everything, because the way they are meant to know things is different. And then you're built under a system whereby the things you're made to even think that you know are legit for your development are the things that are meant to fuck you up, are the things that are not meant to mess your life up, are the things that are meant to make you freaking... You live in a system and you're competing to live in a system that is not even designed for you to live that way. This is why I left the internet for a while, you know. I left because I had to go. I was traveling a lot, you know. I traveled like freaking 8 times. I was always traveling. I used to go to, you know, very poor locations, for lack of a better term, poor communities, you know, where people stay, you know, just walking around like, you know, I just felt normal. Again, because it's just my spirit, you know. And yeah. So anyways, all this being said, America is facing its Pluto return right now. And this is going to create a situation whereby everything that is going on might go on for a bit longer. America is reaping its karma. America has done so much evil. Talk about freaking kids that they be eating. Talk about the slave trade that has been ongoing to this very day, that they've been selling children of those slaves. Talk about a lot of hard things. Talk about the aliens that are living underground in certain parts of New York or those in Mexico. Talk about all this. It's too much, you know. And you might want to ask why. The reason is because there's some beings waiting to come and harvest humanity. And see, the only way they can come to do the harvest is after the first rapture, after the first ascension. After the first ascension, and then they will come down and act like they're about to come here and help people. Look.